stand as one, walk with thousands.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Dad Bods and Beards. Again, we're probably going to, for a little bit, have to be like Dad Bods and Beard. Singular beard.
Dad bods and a little bit of scruff.
Dad Bods, some scruff, and a beard.
True.
But we've got a cool one today. We are going to be introducing a new brand partner, which we're going to,
Dude, this one is going to be so much fun. We've already,
I have so many dumb ideas.
so many ideas. Yeah, so many dumb ideas.
But
I've already thought about involving my wife and my kids in some of this stuff. I'm like,
this is going to be fun. Dad
fun.
Bods fashion, it's going to be funny. It's going to be cringy. It's going to be like
so cringy,
off the wall. It's going to be like out of the norm, like out of like.
We could have our shirts off and do slow motion jumps.
You can have your shirt off.
But instead of the boobs bouncing, it's our bellies going.
Yeah. But no, we've got Steve Carver here from JumpSport with us. JumpSport. I shot some content with them yesterday and like some of their YouTube videos.
I had FOMO.
Yeah, and it's. I'll let Steve tell you about what JumpSport is, but this special episode is brought to you by JumpSport because they're going to be a new brand partner we're working with. We're going to be overhauling their social media, going from all these cute girls in workout clothes to just a couple of chubby dudes on trampolines.
In yoga pants.
Yeah. Why are we losing articles of clothes
and sports bras? That's what we're going to do.
Okay. All right. So without
I'm afraid now it's tutus and freaking ballet slippers.
So without further ado, Steve, can you give us the rundown of who you are, what you do, and then what JumpSport is?
Okay. Well, my name is Steve Carver. I've been in the fitness industry professionally for the last 35 years. I've trained everybody from celebrities to CEOs. Came on board with JumpSport about 15 years ago because I was on a TV show that they were a sponsor for.
What TV show?
It was called Dud to Stud, believe it or not.
On Spike TV. Remember Spike TV?
So it came out
I do
around
remember Spike TV.
about the same time as like The Biggest Loser kind of thing. But the concept was the opposite. So they took two scrawny little skinny fat guys that were like, like the guys.
Dad Bods.
No, worse than that. Like they were the kids that, they show the picture of the guy on the beach where the big buff guy kicks sand in the little scrawny guy's face.
Oh, Aaron.
Hey, you can't say that. So the whole concept behind that was, to take these guys from where they were, and then they had makeovers and the teeth and the spray tan. Sure. And the hostess was a playmate who was going to teach them how to deal with hot girls and take them on dates. And she would coach them during the whole thing. And there was a big reveal at the end. But they were one of the sponsors. And my first reaction to JumpSport was they provided me with the producers came and said, hey, you got to use this while you're training. And I'm like
a trampoline?
A trampoline? And they're like, yeah, they're one of our sponsors, so you got to incorporate this. So I took a moment. I'm like, okay, got to use it. I got to figure out how I'm going to incorporate this, and realized that it was very different than what I had expected, what I thought it was. And you found that out yesterday.
Oh, yeah. My legs are sore.
So, no, but it wasn't the springs anymore. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't loud and noisy. It had these weird spider legs on it, which is a patented curved leg product that keeps it very stable. Yeah. And it's more of a platform than it is a trampoline specifically, but it is a trampoline.
What's funny is Candace, like my wife is Candace, and she's like, oh, really? It's like, I really wanted to do that. Jumping is so good for you. I'm like, it is? I'm like, I never heard that once in my life. Okay, well, we've come to realize through science. So I'll give you we'll circle back about trampolines to begin with. So basically people don't realize that trampolines, the small trampoline and the big trampolines were invented in the 30s. Fast forward, the first commercial applications to these products was in the 70s. Then they kind of found some notoriety in the 80s through a dance aerobics, during the aerobics craze, 80s, early 90s. Yeah. Trampoline workouts were like a thing. Okay. For whatever reason,
like ankle warmers, headbands, all that.
All that.
I remember that.
Then the manufacturer, and I'm not going to say who it was, decided to go a different route with the way his quality of his product. And as a result, there were some problems or injuries, and then they kind of got taken out of the big box gyms because of liability issues. Fast forward 2009, the owner of my company took a look at a fitness trampoline, and he said, well, we can make a better one because we were already in the trampoline space. JumpSport itself actually invented the enclosures that go around all the backyard trampolines.
Oh, nice. I have one there.
To help prevent all the fall-off injuries. So it reduced injuries like by 80-something% of fall-off injuries.
You want to know something funny, though? is I have a son that decided I'm going to jump off my deck over the enclosure, and then he broke his arm in 2 places, dislocated his elbow. And I'm like, that's why we have enclosure, so you don't do that, kid. But anyway.
Yeah, well, and then they also go, those same guys go inside the enclosure with them and double jump them, and they go above the enclosure, so they get really cool video on their social media.
we had a trampoline, and our neighbor had a trampoline, and then they also had a pool. And we went from the roof to the trampoline, over the fence to the trampoline, into the pool. My brother made it. I did not.
Oh, whoa. Really?
Yeah, the COVID.
What happened?
Well, I didn't make it.
I know, but did you hurt yourself?
He didn't get the memo.
I hit the fence.
Wait, he didn't get the memo. His brother said, roof, trampoline, pool. He went, roof, trampoline, fence.
Emergency room. Emergency room. Yeah.
Impaled.
Yeah.
Impelled.
So we were responsible for creating that enclosure. And so fast forward, that was in 98. Fast forward to 2009, he reinvents the trampoline from that springy, straight-legged, noisy, heavy thing that all it was a trampoline, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't think he even envisioned at the beginning what it was going to come to. At that point, he was just one of many trampoline companies. Spring Trampoline still existed at that point. There was a few bungee cord people, but he had a few cool innovations, which was adjustability. Well, you found that out.
Yeah.
Where you can adjust the tension of the trampoline depending on how big you are, what exercises you're doing. Like we changed the tension for him from cardio to balance work.
Do you have like a YouTube YouTube station where you can look at different type of workouts and
That's
stuff?
what we were shooting yesterday.
JumpSport.
Oh, really?
Yeah, JumpSport YouTube channel. It's going to be really great. I mean, we did some footage and we're going to revamp all that, and we're going to bring some more awareness and more education. And this is kind of part of that. So giving you guys kind of a history and a background on some of this stuff is helpful for people to understand. So we get the new product. It's a very limited product line. I start working with internally, and I move my way up through the company, and I start out as doing demo, and then I was trade show guy, and then I became the product development director. So I became really responsible for helping to upgrade and innovate our product line, where we introduced Pro Series and larger units and multiple colors and colored cords, and you could make it personal, and really kind of took what was most people considered to be something your grandma had under the bed that we used to pull out to play with, to something that was a very functional platform, as opposed to just a trampoline. Think of it as a lot of people know what this is, like a Bosu ball, that half ball. Think about a Bosu ball on steroids. So not only can you do all your balance work and you create an unstable environment and work on stability and balance and all those things, but it's got a trampoline that's amazing, that allows you to do anything you can do on the ground in that specific space, you can do on top of this product. So whether it's strength training, HIIT cardio, yoga, Pilates, bar, whatever floats your boat in the fitness industry, you can do it on the trampoline. But the reason it's better, there's 2 main reasons: less impact. So you don't have all the destructive properties of doing, like HIIT training or plyometrics or something on the ground. Even jumping rope over time is going to beat on you, especially when you're a big guy, right?
Oh, I know.
Secondly, you're going to recruit and burn up to 30% more calories doing the same exercise. So why wouldn't I want to do something that's going to be more effective by just changing my location? So I'm still doing the same workout. I'm just going to put you on this trampoline now. And because of that.
Okay, let me make sure I understand.
Okay.
So I have dumbbells, and let's say I'm doing curls.
Correct.
So curls don't have a lot of lower body impact. I'm just doing this, but you're telling me if I do curls on this, I will burn 30% more calories?
Yeah. You want me to tell you why?
Yes, because that's interesting.
Okay, so I learned all this yesterday.
So when you're on the ground and you're doing your curls, you can be thinking about, maybe you told me earlier you have a lot of kids. You're thinking about, so-and-so has to go to tumbling practice, and I got to go pick up groceries, and you're still doing your curls, right?
100%.
But when you're standing on the trampoline, you better be present, and you better tighten your core and squeeze your butt and tighten your legs, or you're going to fall off.
Well, because like from experience yesterday, like as a big guy who spent a lot of time in the gym myself, and I've become a runner, right? I'm like, at first I was like, it's like the fun trampolines from the 90s and the 80s, right? Like, I was dying yesterday in a good way. Like within 2 minutes, my heart rate was at 128 to 130, and he was just showing me like basic workouts. And so the JumpSport YouTube video, there's going to be like 3 or 4 videos where it's Steve showing me how to do all this stuff. And 2 of the videos I'm actually working out. And like I lose all of the comedy because I'm working. Like I'm like sweating and like learning the coordination, and like even as a guy who's pretty coordinated, like it was taking me a minute to kind of get some of the workouts, but then as soon as you lock it in, like just the stabilizing, like I can feel it in my thighs and my calves and my shins and my glutes and everything this morning, and even my core, because the whole time you're like trying to keep yourself balanced.
So you're recruiting all the core muscles and your glutes and your legs. Yeah. Like you said, when I'm doing curls, I don't have to worry about my legs, but on the trampoline, you do have to engage all that. You do have to tighten it. So you're recruiting more muscle in general for no matter what exercise you're doing. So that's that. But most importantly is the core engagement. It forces you to use your core, and everybody knows nobody likes doing core work. Like, well, maybe there is somebody out there, but I'm not a real big fan of doing crunches or this or that or the other thing. But every time you bounce down into the trampoline on any level, you have to tighten your core. So you basically are contracting your core every single time you bounce. So if you do 1,000 bounces, you basically contract your abdominal area and all of your core muscles over and over and over and over.
Yeah. See, that's just me usually going to the bathroom.
Well, see, this is the thing is like I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, hey, how are the like the listeners and everybody who's watching this, like, what's the point of them watching a podcast with three guys talking about a trampoline? Because as a lot of you guys know, Tyson and I have been on a health journey for the last year, like pretty
legit year. It's been August to August,
right? And so we started with mountain ops in August. We started just getting overall better health, and then come October, Brock's like, "Okay, let's kick it into high gear. You guys are going to run a half and a full marathon." And we started losing weight. We started working with 1% Fitness to get our nutrition dialed in. And I'm like, I feel this obligation of like, we have got to bring the trampoline to the dads, because I was telling my wife about it last night. I'm like, I have not got that good of a full body workout in such a short period of time, like ever. And so it's like, it's not even a shameless plug. Like, I'm so ridiculously excited to start working with and doing all these, because like Aaron and Steve and I and Cole,
hear me out.
we came up with 2 reels yesterday on the fly, and we shot them, and they were so freaking funny. But at the same time, it's like I was getting a workout while we were shooting them, and I left, like I came home and my wife was like, "You stink." I'm like, "Yeah, because I was making content, but I was working out the whole time on accident playing with a trampoline."
Hey, isn't that the greatest part?
Like I felt like a kid. Like it was, we were doing.
So what we should do is have you like do a video, and you train us, and we're really working out, and then we just kind of slowly just die, and that's the whole thing.
But no, I mean, we have so many funny ideas of kind of like, you know, the dad bods joke, the running joke of that Logan dies like through different ways of Tyson crushing me, or I fall off something.
No, legit.
But I'm like, oh my gosh, we just upped the game.
Well, how many lives
like
you
now
got
Tyson's
left?
gonna get vertical.
How many lives you got left?
I don't know. I think I'm some kind of like magical cat. I got like 27 lives or something. I don't know. We should probably count it up. How many times have I died now on social media? Like probably
double digits.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things about the trampoline too, and you found this out yesterday. So you guys run. You're doing running now, and one of the questions I have for you today is, even though you're a little sore here and there, how's your knees?
Oh, they're fine.
How's your ankles? How's your back?
Yeah.
How's everything? That part. That's
so even
part.
as a guy that has gone from 300 down to, I'm sitting at 245 right now.
Okay.
Right. So I'm down 55 pounds. At my biggest drop was down like 63 pounds. Right.
Right.
So, but I'm gaining muscle now that I'm focusing more on weight training. But even after I was losing weight, going down the stairs in the morning, like getting the kids off to school and things like that, getting ready to go head into the office and all that stuff, even though I dropped 60 pounds, it was still like, it's still rough as I was building up the knee strength. Every time after a long run or a pretty intense lower body workout, the next morning, I'm always like a little ginger going down the stairs. I didn't have that problem this morning.
So there's so you can reduce ground impact by about up to 80%. I like to say up to, because could be a little less, but at least 50%. So we've done an accelerometer test against spring-based trampolines, and it decreases impact compared to a spring-based trampoline by about 50%.
Oh, wow.
So I'm saying extrapolation up to 80% of ground. You're still going to have some impact. Remember, as you compress into the trampoline, it's going to hit a bottom, and then it's going to return on you. So there is some impact there. This is how, this is one of the components that's going to help build bone density. You'll see a NASA study that's is relevant on one level, because what the result is important, not necessarily the correlation between a big trampoline and a little trampoline.
Yeah.
So what happens when you bounce on these trampolines, the JumpSport specifically, or a big backyard trampoline, is you create exponential gravity.
Yeah.
And as your body gets put under gravity, the effect of that, your body's reaction is to contract, right? So your body contracts, and it doesn't contract in one area. It contracts from your toenails to your hair follicles. So it contracts your whole body. So it's like a big squeeze. And then when you go to zero gravity, everything releases. So you're creating a natural pumping action. The result of that is improved bone density because of force being exerted against your skeletal system. And secondly, it moves all your lymph, which is, it's called lymph, through your lymph system, which is the garbage, the garbage man that comes around and collects all the debris, and then it flushes it out and takes it to where it needs to go to be expelled out of your body. Okay? So that's how gravity affects lymph movement. So you're basically detoxifying while you're exercising, you're recruiting more muscle, you're lowering your impact, and you're doing it all while having fun.
Well, and the best part is like, you're not like, you don't, and then I learned this yesterday. I was like, I'm thinking, okay, you got to jump around and you can be careful, like lose coordination, a big guy, you can roll an ankle or things like that. Like, no, I was just bobbing up and down. And then the fun thing is like, hey, Tyson's a big guy that has had knee replacement surgery. He's got a fake knee in there, right? And then we also have quite a few guys
That's what I was going to ask. We have a ton of guys.
Quite a few guys that are one, either older or two, severely overweight. Okay. And the thing is like, the way I'm looking at all this is like, we have so many people in the health and fitness industry all over social media. They're like, you've got to go intense. You've got to the reason
you can be intense on this.
When you can.
But remember, there's a little surprise. I'm just going to tell you this today on the show. I have double hip replacement.
I didn't know that.
I have I'm bionic, so to speak. I have 2 pieces of titanium.
Good for you.
And you couldn't tell that yesterday, could you? No. And 5 days post-surgery, I was on my trampoline working out. And I couldn't do that on the ground.
So we're doing High Rocks in December.
Okay.
And we're looking really forward to it. The only concern I have, and it's a big concern, is lunges. Lunges have always hurt me, like always. Like just for some reason, like it feels like my knees right here are going to explode. Okay. How can a trampoline help me with that? Or is there exercises that can help me that so that I can actually succeed in lunges without being in pain?
Okay, so I'm going to put on my trainer hat now.
No, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah. So I'm going to put on my trainer hat.
Because we are going to be using these,
one of the ways
so I want to know.
This is to start in that environment so you stabilize better. So the bad knee that you would be lunging into, you would start with on the trampoline, and you would step backwards to build the strength and stability.
Is it big enough where I can do that though?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, dude, those suckers are like robust as hell.
Yeah, very robust.
Well, I understand robust, but I'm talking about size-wise because I'm a big dude.
I'm
a big dude where I can step in and step out and that type
absolutely.
of thing.
So we have 3 different sizes of JumpSport product: 39, 44, and 48-inch trampoline. So you generally, what we were using yesterday is our 44, but for you, I want to bring in our 48-inch trampoline so that you feel very comfortable in the space and in with the right tension on the cord so that you could do any type of exercising that you want, even if it's just balance work.
Well, and the one that I was on was the Pro that was like up to 350 pounds, right?
375.
And that's not even the biggest one.
No, that's not even the biggest one. And that's active weight. Yeah. In other words, there's a big difference. You see a lot of trampolines out there that say, oh, our trampoline will hold 450 pounds. Well, static, I can put 450 pounds of weight on. Like I could probably put both of you guys on my trampoline, not working out.
Yeah,
that's static load. It's not touching the ground. So that's how they prove that they have this really high weight limit. But let's talk about that. Why would you want to have a 450 pound weight limit if you're not 450 pounds?
Because as you're slamming down.
Because you're not going to get the softness. You're going to lose all of the part we're talking about, which is the low impact. Knees. You want that fall. You want that compression. You want that deep throw where your body gets the reaction of gravity, compression, squeezing. All of those things are important for the overall benefits of doing this. Having something that's that hard, you might as well be just jumping on the ground.
What about gentlemen? So because we're doing this, we get a lot of comments, and I've gotten a few comments. I won't give them their names, but they're like, "I wish I could do that but I just have a bad back." How does it help with your back? Because you're talking about all this, and I think it would be beneficial.
Here's the thing. People with back issues. So we also have accessories. So I have a configuration on that large trampoline that I was telling you about that I can put rails, bolt-on handles that actually become like clinical, like a clinician could put a patient
for PT
could walk up there who can't really do anything and can hold on the rails and just walk and reduce impact of the ground. Let's say you are 400 pounds. So you go on this product and all you can do is walk. You can't do anything else. But this is a product that's stable enough that has these bars that are actually designed to hold your body weight. They're not just there for looks or for balance. These are actually functional parts of the unit that bolt onto it that can create a clinical kind of application where if you are somebody that's severely obese and you need something that just allows you to walk because otherwise just walking on the ground is painful. This is an environment that allows you to do that because of the non-impactive or low impact.
I wish I would have had this because when we started, I weighed 355 pounds and I hurt. I couldn't run. I couldn't run. And we just ran a half.
His heart almost exploded on the first half mile we jogged together.
Literally, I was up in 180 beats per minute.
This is why it's so cool. And this is why we wanted to talk about it on the show. And this is why Aaron and I, after we shot with stuff with Steve yesterday, because this wasn't even the intent. It was more like, hey, Steve's in town. Let's do some crossover dad bods. Let's do it on the JumpSport's TV or the JumpSport's YouTube channel. And then it just was like, and then we went to lunch and we had these dumb ideas. And then we got to moving and we're like, hey, there's a lot of dudes who really need to use this because, like I said, there's a lot of guys that are having joint issues. And then and then on top of all of that, our coach, I was telling you, after my marathon, I couldn't walk for 3 or 4 days, pretty bad. I was beyond expelled with energy and everything was hurting. And I kept asking my coach, hey, what do I do here? And he's like, motion is lotion, dude. You got to move. You can't just sit there. Mm-hmm. And so then we talked yesterday about the active recovery aspect of the trampoline.
Right. Wasn't that great? In between every one of the activities that I had you do active recovery so that your heart rate could come back down before we did the next thing.
But then you're not getting rigid. And it's the active recovery was literally, and it was a 45-second exercise. And then I did 20 seconds.
Including the recovery.
And then I just did 20 seconds of bobbing and spread my feet out and just moving. And it was keeping my knees and everything moving. But at the same time, my heart rate went right back down to resting. And then we shot it right back up. So it was this interval training.
That's cool.
And so by the end of the 6 or 7 minute exercise we did, I was beads of sweat rolling down my back as we were working out.
And look, a lot of people think that you have to do all these crazy choreographed things because you see that on the internet and you see it across different platforms about all these people doing these amazing. And trust me, I was telling Logan yesterday that even I look at some of that and be like, wow, that's amazing.
Well, you and this is the thing is, like you said, you were a trainer for years before this. You were an ultra marathon guy.
Absolutely.
You're the guy that was rightfully so a little skeptic in the beginning. And
I was very skeptical about using it. And to see how you're
okay, this is work. I need to be a part of this company. I need to be a part of this brand, this movement. And I was on the phone with our trainer yesterday, Brock. I was telling you about him. He's a complete nut job. The guy just hurt 100 ultra marathons. He did a last man standing run, treadmill run. And he made it 90 something miles in 23 hours on a treadmill. And he was competing
his goal is to do an ultra in under 24 hours.
Yeah, he ran the Boston qualifier. He ran the marathon we did in 2:30. And so he finished the full before
he passed me mile 7.
Anyways, the whole point of
telling, but he had already read, he was running a full, and I was doing a half. And so I ran 7 miles and he was already at
15. But the point, I tell you this, I was calling him yesterday and I'm like, oh, we're doing this. Cause he's also a coach with us in a lot of other business mindset, spirituality and that stuff. And I was like, hey, we've got this new company we're gonna start working with, JumpSport. And I was telling him about it. And he's just like, oh dude, he's like, trampolines are nuts. That was the next words out of his mouth of just the everything between recovery. And he's like, you can get so much overall core workout. And he went on his
and
kick on it.
And so yesterday, you touched on this a little bit. We just did.
I'm so excited.
We tapped on the glass on the front door.
Yeah.
We haven't even opened the door yet. So not only is it that amazing platform that you saw in its application in a very basic way, we have accessories that tilt it. It turns it in so you can throw med balls at it. You
kids.
Well, there's a kids application, but I'm thinking more
throw kids at it.
For your audience at this.
I was waiting for you to catch that one.
So no, but you can throw Atlas balls or you could. One thing is it's the only full body weight rebounder, so you can jump on and off of it. So you can set one flat and one tilted, and you can jump from a flat one to a thing and go back and forth. So you're a hockey player or you're a tennis player and you want to work on lateral movement or whatever your sport is, it gives you the ability to do that. Not only that, we have an accessory package that turns it into a full gym. So it's got this gym in a bag. It's got
I want that.
3 elastic bands that gets heavier and heavier with a big aluminum bar. And you can do presses and curls and, and lateral raises and kickbacks, and it attaches to the trampoline. And it then basically all breaks down and goes in a bag. So it's not only it can turn into a small, portable gym. You can throw things at it because it tilts. I have a new accessory that turns it into a 360-degree sled with a harness. So if you want to take it out to the field and you want to load it up with weight and you put a harness on it and you need to drag it across the field, you can do that with the same trampoline, same platform. It's just put this accessory on and it converts it right away. So we have all of these other things that are very male-centric when it comes to their application. And I'm not saying women can't do that. And we have the primary, demographic of what we're doing right now is very women use our product
my
more.
wife, but like I said, my wife was really excited about it. I had no idea about anything.
Well, don't let her take it from you when I send you it. Don't be like, hey, honey, when is my turn?
Yeah. But it was so funny. I'm calling Tyson. I'm literally about to tell him how excited I am about these little personal trampolines.
Well, but they're not really that little.
No, they're not. They're massive. And that's not even the big. I'll have to show you the pro one. It's over in the other studio.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's funny that we've been sitting here talking about trampolines for 30 minutes.
Can I say something real quick? Just because we're about to wrap up. Yeah. And we're a men's mental health brand. That's our goal, is to help men physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I know how exercise works for my mental health, and then Logan does too. What is your experience of dealing with people who have training people and hearing their experiences of heartache and all that, and using this trampoline and using it as a fitness program? How have you seen their life change?
Okay, so I've been sent, I would say, up to 100 letter testimonials telling me how the trampoline has changed their life. And a lot of them stem and we talked a little bit about this, and we'll finish on this note. So aside from the workout component, aside from the versatility and all those things I've already mentioned, the main thing that I didn't cover yet, and I know this is important to you guys, is the mental component of this. So exercise is a great tool. It's the greatest antidepressant there is.
100%.
Okay. But somebody once asked me earlier in my career when I was lecturing at one point, and they said, what's the best exercise to do? And everybody has an opinion. And you know what I said to them? The one you'll do. And what I know about a trampoline is one thing that I've never looked at and thought, I don't want to do that today.
Yeah.
And he found out yesterday.
Especially with your guardrails that you're talking about,
having a good
everything.
time, and the whole time he was working out and not know it. That's the trick. But the last thing I want to tell you about the mental health component. One of the things they found about gravitational compression and zero gravity, it stimulates the production of serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine, adrenaline. So all of those things play into your mood.
All the happy
So
juices.
what you're saying is I'll have a 7th child after I work out.
Well, that is if you get a chance to get on the trampoline. You have all those kids and a wife. So you may not get a chance. But that's the last thing I want to leave you guys with. That this is a particular product that's going to help with your mental wellness as much as your physical wellness.
Yeah.
I love it.
Dude, Steve, thanks
Thank
so much
you.
for coming out. This has been such a pleasant surprise. Like coming up to the studio yesterday, working with you, and
legit.
then we're like, dude, we got to get Steve on the podcast before you leave. And then I'm sure we'll see you out here, and we're gonna do all kinds of. I mean, just stay tuned for all the fun, just the fun content we're gonna do. But like anything else with Dad Bods and Beards, it's all aimed towards. And you guys know this by now, that we only work with companies and brands that we know, trust, love, and use, and we feel at our core would benefit you guys.
We've said
in your
no
lives.
to several companies.
One of the ones that was hard to say no to was actually like a
$150,000.
an online sports betting company, because I'm like, wow, I can't really spend that towards mental health. But the point being is that
That's kind of what causes mental health.
I know. I'm like,
Yeah,
hey,
but
here's
it was
something-
for like 4 or 5 months, $150,000, and we're just like, we can't do it.
So on that note, Steve,
can't say
thanks so
no.
much for coming out. We got some fun
Thanks,
content
guys.
coming. We'll tag all the Jump Sports stuff where you guys can go and get them yourselves. And I'm sure along the lines, we'll probably have some special Dad Bods and Beards offers with Jump Sports. So until next week, you guys.
Toodles.